Teachers, can you tell when a student has had a rough childhood? I've been teaching kindergarten for 8 years now, and there's this one kid I'll never forget. Her name was Amy, and from day one, something felt off about her. Not in a bad way, just different. While other kids would bounce around excited when their parents showed up at pickup time, Amy would sit at her desk pretending to color way after everyone else had packed up. At first I thought she was just one of those kids who really loved school. You know, the type who gets genuinely upset about weekends. But then I started noticing little things. During snack time, Amy would eat maybe half her crackers and then carefully wrap the rest in a napkin. She'd stuff them deep in her backpack pockets, whispering, "For later," when she thought no one was looking. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, all the other kids had been picked up except Amy. She was still at her desk, moving her crayon in tiny circles on the same spot of paper she'd been working on for 20 minutes. When I walked over to check on her, she looked up at me with these huge brown eyes and whispered, "Mrs. Johnson, can I maybe stay here tonight?" My heart just stopped. I knelt down next to her desk and asked her why she wanted to stay. That's when she told me about the walls at her house. "They shake really loud," she said, matter-of-factly, like she was telling me the sky was blue. "Daddy throws the remote at them sometimes, and sometimes plates. Mommy goes in the bathroom and makes scary crying sounds." I tried to keep my voice steady as I asked her more questions. This 5-year-old kid could describe police officers better than most adults. She knew their badge numbers, knew exactly how long it took them to show up when the neighbors called, knew which ones were nice and which ones weren't. She talked about it all like it was completely normal, like every kid's house had police cars in the driveway twice a week. The really heartbreaking part was when she told me about snack time at home. "Sometimes there's no food in the kitchen," she said, pulling out her saved crackers. "So I keep these just in case." This tiny little girl was hoarding food because she couldn't count on getting fed at home. Everything made sense after that conversation. Why she never wanted to leave, why she flinched whenever someone raised their voice in the hallway, why she'd ask me every single morning if I was going to be there all day. She was treating school like her safe place because home sure wasn't. The next day at dismissal, I couldn't find Amy anywhere. Her dad was standing by the door looking annoyed, tapping his foot and checking his phone. I searched the classroom, the library, even asked other teachers if they'd seen her. Finally, I checked the bathroom near our classroom and found her hiding in the last stall, knees pulled up to her chest, tears streaming down her face. "I don't want to go home," she whispered when she saw me. "Please don't make me go home." She was shaking, this tiny little person who was more terrified of going home than most adults are of anything. That's when I knew I had to make some calls. I told her dad she was feeling sick and needed to visit the nurse, bought myself some time to contact the right people. Within 2 hours, child services was involved, and by the end of the week, Amy was living with her grandmother across town. The crazy part is, Amy wasn't even my most heartbreaking case that year. When you teach little kids, you start recognizing the signs pretty quickly. The ones who never have lunch money but insist they're not hungry. The ones who wear the same shirt 3 days in a row. The ones who know way too much about grown-up problems and not enough about being kids. But Amy was different because she was so honest about it all. Most kids try to hide the bad stuff at home, but she just told me everything like she was giving me a weather report. Maybe because she was so young, or maybe because she finally had someone who would listen without getting angry or scared. Her grandmother ended up enrolling her in a different school closer to her house, but she sent me a photo last Christmas. Amy was grinning, missing 2 front teeth, holding up a drawing she'd made. Her grandmother wrote on the back that Amy talks about her kindergarten teacher all the time, how I was the first person who made her feel safe.